on the apps. Well, also,
I mean, okay, yeah, there's a conversation to be had about that, but not right now. I said it over time.
The nigga still did what he did. Fuck what color he is or what the nigga's gone free, just like those white people that you were talking about.
Let's be clear. Nobody wants anybody to be free that's doing these things. I'm just saying that you saying that this conversation is happening, but it's not. It's only happening in inner circles, black inner circles. But yeah, I mean, I guess this was fairly recent. How many episodes they dropped out? 2 or 3 of the R. Kelly documentary on Lifetime? If I'm not mistaken,
to this day, there's only been 2 episodes that's dropped.
2 episodes, okay. But yeah, Lifetime decided to make a documentary about R. Kelly. I think it was a black woman that got the ball rolling, because I don't think white people really give a fuck about R. Kelly like that. Because he raping black girls, I guess. But I think she got the ball rolling as far as this documentary goes. And my thing is, out of all the rapists and pedophiles out there, why... I don't even want to say this because it sounds like I'm trying to defend that nigga. But why R. Kelly? Why now? With all this other shit going on, like we got worse predators out here. Like what's that one boy name? Harvey Weinstein. He's still out here. Why are we not doing
that
more?
Nigga, what you talking? Like, but his business is done. Like that nigga can never. And that nigga's fucked.
He never really worked anyway. He's beyond being an entertainer though. Like he's been behind the scenes.
My biggest thing is his revenue like that. Like he's not making the same. Harvey Weinstein's not nearly as not making the same money or like living that he used to. While R. Kelly,
he's making a livable wage.
Of course, he's making a livable wage, but compared to where he was before, compared to his reputation, Harvey Weinstein's never gonna work in the entertainment business ever.
Him making a livable wage is probably more than R. Kelly make, man. Like,
no, I don't think so.
I think you underestimate how much money people like that make.
I'm pretty sure he makes a lot of money, but I'm saying for in terms of R. Kelly, in terms of the money that he makes, I think you're underestimating how much money R. Kelly makes.
I don't know, that nigga. I mean, he ain't got no hit records out. Excuse me. He basically living off all his old shit. He got a couple cookout songs and shit like that. And a lot of black women go to his concerts, but he not really buzzing like that, nigga. Not really.
R. Kelly's looked at as one of the R&B legend. That's what, despite the accusations or anything like that, people looked at R. Kelly as a legend. He has multiple songs that are on billboarding charts throughout the whole years. So I'm saying the nigga has clout, like high level clout that protects him. So he's doing really well. Like I think you're really underestimating the fame and the amount that people love R. Kelly.
I mean, I guess, but he don't have the same power as somebody like Harvey Weinstein got. And I ain't even, they both fucking predators or whatever the fuck. Like, I don't even care about neither of them niggas. My thing is that why do we always make art and documentaries and television shows around when black predators and shit like that? I mean, like we did the same thing with Bill Cosby. We paraded out his victims, all of that shit. We made a whole mockery of the thing, the whole like OJ, all this shit. It's always when it's somebody that's black that's doing the evil deed is when we take it over the top. We start making art on it and making like I don't understand that shit. Like when we got niggas like Harvey Weinstein out here that's probably would probably produce a better documentary if we actually did some shit on him. So
yeah, Mo, can you take this?
That sounds like an absolutely reductive conversation. Like who gives a shit if he black? I don't. Because to be honest with you, the situation is that if we have to look for a resolution, if we ought to for even 1 second, think about the subject of, but this is a black predator as opposed to a white predator. The problem isn't that this black predator shouldn't be, arrested or condemned for the things that he's doing. It's that the white predator should as well. Like, I'm not over here to argue about, like, the level of punishment handed out to each respective race of predator. I'm talking about, is R. Kelly being condemned for the things he did? You know what I'm saying? Is he being condemned for the things he's probably still doing? You know what I mean? That's the big question. And I think questions like this are reductive. They're ultimately dismissive. You know what I'm saying? It's like for even to take the discussion from should this man be condemned for the things that he did? Here are the things that he did to, oh, look at the color of the man that's doing these things. I understand there's probably motivations behind the other people that what's called are protecting Harvey Weinstein, but this isn't a conversation about Harvey Weinstein. It's a conversation about R. Kelly.
I mean, look, that's true and all, but I mean, with situations like these, race is always at the forefront of everything we do in this country. It's always the headline. So I mean, I know it seems reductive and it seems dismissive. I'll take all of that. I don't give a fuck about that shit. I feel like I gotta bring it up just to throw it out there. I feel like it's necessary to bring this up. I think it's necessary. I think it's very necessary.
I'm not speaking particularly to you, Bush, but I think that's a dumb nigga argument. Like that's a dumb argument that a lot of people from our own community bring up. Well, if it was a white man or something like that, it would be on the apps. Well, also,
I mean, okay, yeah, there's a conversation to be had about that, but not right now. I say that all the time.
The nigga still did what he did. Fuck what color he is or what the nigga's gone free, just like those white people that you were talking about.
Let's be clear. Nobody wants anybody to be free that's doing these things. I'm just saying that you saying that this conversation is happening, but it's not. It's only happening in inner circles, black inner circles, and some niggas on Twitter that'll say it, but it's not really happening in the mainstream like that. So I mean, you say this conversation exists.
Wait. What do you mean? What's not happening in the mainstream like that? What are you talking about?
I mean, why is that? Why
like a pedophile?
I mean, why? I mean, like the media's involvement in the whole thing, this whole parade, this whole masquerade, and we don't nearly give predators like Harvey Weinstein as much coverage as they deserve when they're the bigger predator.
Oh, absolutely, we do. Because what ended up happening is when we found out that Harvey Weinstein was a predator, his entire career was thrown into the mud. Not just that, his business was. Everybody that previously worked with him and had dealings with him completely condemned him for the things they did and tried to distance themselves from. Quentin Tarantino's career was also affected by the thing because they found out a whole bunch of stuff tying back to Miramax.
Yep.
Not just that, but also if you look at filmmakers like Kevin Smith, he ended up taking all of the funds that were being made off the royalties and the movies he had through Miramax and donating it to female charities because he didn't want to be in any way associated with that money.
Yep.
I mean, but how many documentaries on Harvey Weinstein or shit like that?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I mean,
my biggest thing
I think it does matter, man. Like, yeah, all that stuff is happening behind the scenes, but people not pay attention to that shit. Like people don't people don't even know that shit happened. Go ahead.
Well, people definitely know that it happened. It made bigger headlines than anything R. Kelly's done in his entire career has.
No. I'm not. You're not hearing me. I'm not talking about. I'm talking about the specifics of the details of what you were saying and people pulling it. That shit happens on an article that you read somewhere. That shit is not highly publicized. What's what I'm trying to figure out? Fine here. Publicized. Yeah.
It triggered a whole Me Too movement. What are you talking about?
When that shit be,
that was one of the first.
Did that start? Was that the first one?
It was the one. It definitely elevated. Like it
started a whole movement. Yeah, you know? That was one of the biggest ones, especially out there. I think you downplaying either I think that you're keeping the social circle that you have in your own area as a meter for it. So. Yeah. You don't see it. You don't see it as they making it such a big deal, but it was a big deal, and it still is. Also,
I feel like you're also neglecting the fact that like you have to realize it's not just that he was white; it's also that he was an industry professional, somebody that owned one of the biggest production houses in the industry. So it's like you're asking why you're asking about like why were documentaries not made? Because documentaries are financed and made by film studios, probably led with people that Miramax in some way had business with. You're talking about this
controlled, yeah.
You're talking about this incestual cesspool full of other people that probably know him or probably care about him, making things about this guy that also own one of their production houses.
I mean, we got Louis C.K., Les Moonves, what's the other boy name? What's his name? Kevin Spacey. That's a whole list. Fucking what's the filmmaker? That slept with his daughter.
Polanski.
No, I mean, we got Polanski out there. I'm sure there's a documentary about him, though. I'm talking about, like,
I know who you're talking about, like the old white dude that had the Asian
with the
adopted
glasses.
daughter, right?
Yeah,
Woody Allen.
Woody Allen. Yeah.
Oh, Woody Allen. Oh, never mind. That nigga wildin' too. Go ahead.
I don't know, man. I mean, I guess we can get off of that. I mean, I guess y'all made some very valid points about the shit.
I feel like we should get off that point because we weren't not R. Kelly in himself, because I don't even feel like we talked about R. Kelly himself. I feel like we talked way more about, if he was black, then the XYZ, this is the only reason why he's getting so much exposure. And as well as this whole exposure to R. Kelly thing, this has been known for a while. Versus when Harvey Weinstein
that's my thing.
Hasn't been in the public that long.
Like it's been known for a long time. Like what are they now starting to get aggressive with the push because the whole Me Too thing is happening right now? Like because we've been known this nigga was a pedophile like forever. Like what's getting the ball rolling now? Are they really trying to prosecute this man now? Are they trying to put together the evidence and stuff?
You answered your own question, the Me Too thing, of course, because the idea is that there's now, I'm not going to say there's directly power handed to women that are in these situations. We're in a climate right now where people are more willing to listen to women that are, have been in these situations, have a history of this happening to them. So the thing is that R. Kelly is not the star that he used to be. He doesn't have these massive institutions backing him and protecting him, because the idea is that R. Kelly, first and foremost, before he's a person, a predator, an individual, is a commodity. He's somebody and something that makes a lot of money for a lot of people that work at these big companies. So they're more inclined to protect the asset as opposed to us seeing it as, they're protecting this person. They're protecting their money. You know what I'm saying? So the whole thing is that as long as R. Kelly is a valuable name, as long as he's bringing money to a label, they're going to keep protecting him. And since R. Kelly still brings in a lot of money, but isn't quite the celebrity he used to be, some of those infrastructures are starting to fall back, I feel.
I mean, that's I agree with that as well. But also we gotta look at the bigger picture here. I mean, sure, R. Kelly exists out there, but like there's so many people out here that's doing the exact same thing that he's doing. I just don't want us to get lost on this one particular person and be like, we got him. We caught the big fish. We can all relax. Like, nah, like get everybody.
I don't think we are. I don't think we are.
I don't think we are at all.
Yeah, I don't think so. Because the reason I say I don't think so is because it feels like it's put together an entire climate. It's not just this particular group that exists to target an R. Kelly. It's something that was sparked by someone that isn't R. Kelly, with more power and influence than R. Kelly. And it's also something that seems to not just apply to people that have actually done these things. It's also almost like a screening process for anyone that enters the industry. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's not just about black people getting it. It's not just about white people getting it. It's every male figure in the industry has the potential to be questioned about this thing. And you know what I'm saying? It's something that keeps people that otherwise might have done this thing on their toes because they're aware this is a possibility. You can be condemned for these things. Closed walls do not exist. You see what I'm saying? These things that can protect you aren't as strong as you think they are.
I mean, that is a good deterrent for people that are entering the industry. But there's people that are still here, like old rock stars, old musicians in general that have been doing this shit. Like, I mean, we go back all the way to Chuck Berry. Like, this has been a part of the industry for years. This pedophilia, these getting young girls and transporting them over,
and young boys,
young boys too. Yeah, let's not forget about that. I guess it is good that this is happening. But I feel like we need more of this, and let's make it all fair and balanced here. All right.
I think it is. If anything, I feel like the unfairness comes from how long R. Kelly's been able to get away with it. If we're talking about like it going towards the luck of someone else, it's definitely to R. Kelly. R. Kelly is quote unquote lucky to make it as far as he has so far, being the type of person he is.
I mean, speaking on his luck though, let's talk about his luck. We're getting away with it for the longest time. I feel like I gotta say this because this is a point that many people brought up. Like, the only people that are still supporting R. Kelly right now are the very same people that are his victims. I think we need to hold them accountable as well.
I wouldn't even say
that. And that's specifically these old black women that still go to his concerts and that's grabbing his crotch while he on the stage. Like what are we doing here? Why did we allow this to drag out for so long? Like, is it dragging out for so long because we're not condemning those people that are still supporting him? Well, like, I mean, when let me say this one other thing. I'll let you go, Mo. I mean, like going back to the whole voting thing. Like, I remember people were super aggressive and condemning people that didn't vote. Why are we not doing the same thing with people that still back R. Kelly? Why are we not condemning these people, treating them like lepers, like we did people that didn't vote?
Of course. I mean, my whole thing is I've had countless discussions about this. The thing that always frustrates me the most is not just the predator. It's the complicity that lets them continue to be a predator. Do you see what I'm saying? That's always my big thing. It's like a predator can be like the ecosystem that a predator lives in definitely determines the likelihood of them being arrested or being condemned or being outed as whatever they are. When the people around you don't seem to do it, you are not going to end up in a position where you get questioned, interrogated, or possibly charged on the things that you do. So the thing that I'm kind of curious about is that I know you're asking a question of, what happened to those people? You have to realize R. Kelly's, for the same reason that the labels are protecting him, is the reason that he's in the headlines right now. For the same reason there's a documentary about him. Like, we can't talk about some random person at a workplace and make an entire product for everybody else. It's just hope that, you know.
That is true, but we can't just blame labels and big corporations. That's the easiest thing in the world to do. Like, and what big label is still back? I'm sure he has a label and he's a part of a label, but
RCA hasn't dropped him, man. He's signed to RCA and they haven't dropped him. They have his name on their lineup.
But their incentive is that people keep supporting him, so they never gonna drop him because people still go to his fucking concerts.
His streams actually went up by twice the amount from this documentary coming out.
It's like come on.
Every single time there's a controversy about R. Kelly, he just gets paid off of it even more. So
it's like people that complain about these gaming companies that do these loot boxes and shit like that. But yet these very same people still buy their products. Like, if we want something to stop, like, stop supporting it. But
I'll be honest with you. I don't think the people that are listening to R. Kelly's music are the people complaining about R. Kelly. I didn't mean to confuse that. That's you're right. That's not the case. I apologize about that. I don't mean to put them two people in the same category. They're not in the same category. You're right about that. I think I will say that there are people that don't necessarily agree with what R. Kelly has done. With the whole pedophilia thing, of course. But they still listen to his music and still support him, and I get that. And the thing that frustrates me about that primarily is this thing where you are willing to put money in the pocket of someone because you think they made cool tunes, what's it called? Like outside of the context of, he's still a pedophile or whatever. Like, here's the thing I wanted to talk about with Marcel. He's not around, so I'm going to go ahead and say it anyway.
Okay.
The thing
wait. What did Marcel say?
Well, Marcel and me had a discussion about the artist and separating the artist from the art they make. That whole thing. And I mean, he said that I don't care about what the artist does. If I like the music, I can still listen to it and enjoy it. And I realized that I'm too old for that shit. And I don't mean that like you ever get too old to do that and it's like a sign of immaturity or whatever. I feel like I specifically am too old for that shit. And the reason I say that is because I can't do that thing where people say, it's a popcorn film. Just sit down and turn your brain off and watch this movie and don't think about it. I'm always thinking about stuff.
Yeah.
That's my constant state of being. My constant state of being is processing the thing I'm looking at and trying to make sense of it. Even if I look at something very, very stupid, I'll probably overthink it before I stop thinking about it. So when somebody says separate the artist from the art, I can't do that because I'm always thinking about context. I'm always thinking of the man or woman behind of this thing that's being delivered to me. You know what I'm saying?
And also, with his music, he don't allow you to forget. Like, he doesn't allow you to forget about that shit.
He reminds you.
Yeah,
that was mine.
Calls himself the Pied Piper and shit. Like, come on, like,
fam. Did he have a song that came out last year talking about how, like, he'd been sexually assaulted as a kid and how that kind of
and they kind of brought that up in the documentary too. Like, and this is, I guess, is the best way to transition to that. I mean, I didn't see it, but I heard people talking about it. They talked about, they brought up how the film talked about his childhood and how he was molested by one of his family members. They broke down this whole backstory. Yeah.
I'll say I think that's important. I think it's important bringing that up. I don't feel like here's the thing. R. Kelly's actions do a good enough job of vilifying him. I feel like missing the pieces that build a man like him is irresponsible. I think it's important to go back and see what.
Oh
makes
yeah, I definitely agree with that. Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's so irresponsible.
And I hope, like by episode 6 or the end, whatever the fuck episode that'll be, they bring up why he's still out here. Because I'm curious about that too. Like, I mean, the people we talk about the record label, the people around him, but we need to expose these people that are still in his pocket or still behind him, still protecting him. Yeah. So I mean,
you gotta be real, bro, to protect the pedophile, bro. That's wild.
I mean,
you make enough money. You can make enough money.
No, because I'm thinking about like you're not just protecting a pedophile. You're protecting a washed up pedophile. Like you gotta be real fucking broke, man. That's wild.
Yeah, and also, I mean, I know you mentioned you brought up Marcel and about the whole separating the art. I mean, the art from the person, and I kind of somewhat fuck with that because if we truly think about it, if we truly dig into everybody's past, we wouldn't have no entertainment to watch or look at. Like, so I mean, I just don't want to be, I just don't want to be like, I don't know. I don't want to be like a hypocrite.
I would agree with saying we'd have a lot less entertainment. We'd have a lot less entertainment. I don't think we would have no entertainment. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, that was over exaggeration, but yeah.
Of course, like in my head, the way I think about it is like it shouldn't be too much of an expectation not to be a terrible person. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be like this massive hurdle, like to not be terrible. And then I think about it and I'm like, nah, it seems like there's a lot of terrible people out there. Maybe that's just an over expectation on my part, to be honest.